Welcome to Dawn Wind. It's the 13th of May. It's very, very dry out here, so things are a bit slow, but let's walk around and see what we can see to start the year off. Oh, probably almost 60 years ago, I remember sitting in about this spot. There was a swing for two people that was back here. And if you turned around and looked, there was total forest. Now that's not quite the case today. There was no road at that time, and in fact the path that we're about to take down the hill ended right where I'm standing, which is where this two-seater swing was. So let's work our way down. This is under changes for the coming year. Hopefully we can get a better path with platforms, big steps all the way down, which will help to make it easier to walk up and down. It can be a bit of a struggle, a challenge, that would be a better word at times. Oops. All right, I'm going to stop here and swing around. The bush stays fairly constant. There's a few too many pine trees here. I probably have to remove some of them because I'd prefer to have other brush in here other than these evergreens, I should say. This rock, just to the left of this rock, was a dead tree, or a tree that fell last year, and I had the tree whisperer remove it. And one of the constraints I gave him was, when you remove the tree that's leaning on this rock, you can't scratch any of the moss off and you can't wreck all the ferns that are there. And indeed, he did an excellent job, as you can see. Let's zoom in on these ferns. As these evergreens start to fail, we definitely will not replace them. More light back here would be good, since this part of the cottage is south-facing. I would like to make a path through here, but as you can see, I have several rocks to remove, and though that seems trivial when there's one person and potentially two doing it, it will take a little bit. But I can see straight ahead there's 1, 2, 3, and then possibly 4 that I would have to move out of the way in order to make a path through here so you can get to the tool shed without walking around the front of the cottage. Well, let's see if we can fix this up. That's a bit better. Now let's head to the front. Oh, but before that, I'm going to stop right here. I've added native plants into here. But because it's so dry, there is nothing going on at the moment. except perhaps for these two. We'll see what spring will bring once we get some rain. This used to be over here. You can just see this piece of metal in the ground. This was a well, a decorative well. And I remember as a child tossing, a nickel or a penny or something down there. So I would imagine there'll be a few coins at the bottom of it. It's not very deep now. It's perhaps 4 feet. It's collapsed totally. Here's the other side of our property. In here behind the rock, there are native plants planted in there. It's very dry this year, but we'll see how they grow as the year progresses. Just to the right of them, you can probably see some bushes, and indeed, those will probably be removed. That's a little bit too close to the cottage. Let's go to the edge of the property. This leads back up to the road. This path that we've just walked on used to be the original access road to this cottage back in 1936. And indeed, there was a path that ended just beyond the stone that's got the red paint on it. Before the next opening, there was a little parking area and people that lived at the point. I'm not sure if it will shine through, or we can see through here, but we're going to zoom out to the point and see if we can get through these bushes. I don't think so, but we'll come back. I'll show you the point in a second. So people used to park their car there and then walk with their groceries and their clothes and their plants, because they used to plant they had a beautiful garden in the summer every year. And they would haul that all to the point down this trail. And they would have to make 2 or 3 trips to the front to do that. Here's the other side of our property. This is actually a public path. Oh, if we look out front, we can see a duck. I think it's a mallard. We'll go to the edge, and then we'll see if we can zoom in on him. As you can hear, it's extremely dry here. Okay, let's see if we can zoom in on this duck. And of course now I've lost him, so I'm going to come back. Come back. So if I go to the left, pan to the left, you'll see where the point is and how far away it is. And that's where these two fellows lived, and they would haul all the material from all their weekend supplies from in front of our cottage down to the point where the trees are and the green, where it's starting to green up. Let's come over to here, and if we go up, you'll see my neighbor has put a wood duck house on our property. It may have had wood ducks in it the first year. I'm not sure if there's anything in it this year. The challenge has been is that once the baby ducks jump out, it's very hard for them to get over the rocks to the beach and the water. Let's go back again. As you can see, oh my goodness, it's early. We have a long way to go before we have green leaves, and this will fill in so you can't see the beach or the water or the other properties. Now, where did the duck go? Well, it looks like he has indeed flown away. And here we are. It's mid-May, and let me show you the ice. It's just a little bit. There we go. So it's May the 13th, and it's about 20 plus 23 right now. And we can follow along all the way to the end. Oh, and then there's a tree in the middle. And then we continue our way to Victoria Beach. And a lot of the white that you see there, I believe, is ice. It will eventually turn into rocks near the dock. And then here's the front of our property. Now, at the point, is that somebody standing there, or is that a big rock? Let's just go take a peek. And here we are, May the 25th, or pardon me, May the 13th, 2018.